to Franchise Focus podcast. Today we're diving into Back Nine Golf, a fast-growing franchise that's making golf accessible year-round through state-of-the-art indoor simulated experiences. I'm joined by Darren Wilstead, who leads franchise development at Back Nine. He's here to walk us through what makes Back Nine Golf stand out, how the model works, and what potential owners should know. So welcome, Darren. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me. Appreciate the time.
I'm looking forward to learning more and excited to share it with people that are exploring franchise opportunities. So maybe if you can walk us through what the Back Nine really is, what this experience is like, and
Yeah.
what it offers customers.
Yeah, love to. So Back Nine is an indoor golf facility with simulators that you can go work on your game. You can go play against your buddies. You can have coaches teach out of it. I mean, it's a full access golf facility, right? So a lot of people think of indoor golf as, hey, this is only a place where I can go work on the range or whatever it is. No, you can go play Pebble Beach. You can go play, some of these big name courses across the country, and have an opportunity to go compete against your buddies, put money on the line, whatever you want to do. Or if you're a serious golfer and you want to get, your game dialed in and work on your game and understand the numbers, our customers have that opportunity to go out and do the same thing there, right? So it's pleasure, it's work, whatever you want to call it, where you want to work on your game. You can kind of experience that. And the beauty of what the Back Nine has done, and I think what's attributing to a lot of our success, is the way we built our model.
Hmm.
Uh, so we provide a great experience for not only our customers but also for our franchisees. And as much as we love people and working with people, we also love not having employees, right? And our model is built to allow our customers to come in and use the facility, play golf, practice, whatever it may be, and they can actually walk out and never talk to an employee of the Back Nine, right? So they get buzzed in through our software, they
Hmm.
go play, they leave, they don't have access to the facility anymore, leaving our franchisees an opportunity to go out and sell and grow their business versus spending the time trying to, maintain the day-to-day operations. Our software that we've built on our own, we own it. So we get to change it. We get to do what we want, allow it to be really flexible,
Yeah.
and create a good experience for our customers that are using it on a daily basis.
In that scenario, let's say you've got a customer in that messes something up for some reason and can't access the course they want to play.
Yeah.
What's the process to help them out if there's not an
Yeah.
employee there?
What we love about it is it doesn't happen very often.
Hmm.
It is software, so it is technology. So we all have
Yep.
been in the situation where you got a big meeting and your computer's not working or whatever that may be. But what you can do is it's a quick reboot. Most of the time that fixes things. If not, customers will probably call the franchisee. Hey, what can I do? The franchisee gets on with Full Swing. Full Swing has a pretty unique platform that monitors all of their systems. So they're trying to catch things before things even happen. So they're able to monitor all of their systems throughout the entire world, and it will red flag them saying, hey, a fan may be overheating or this might be happening here. So
Wow.
they're trying to pre-diagnose problems before they even happen. But Full Swing has 24 access to their support team. So if there is an issue, it's usually resolved pretty quickly, especially if it's a technology issue, because they can just tap in via the internet. If it is a hardware issue, which is very rare, they would need to send someone out and be there. But for the most part, it's a quick reboot and you're back up and playing and things are working pretty easily.
What's Full Swing versus you said you guys have built the technology
Yeah,
yourself?
yeah. Great question. So Full Swing is actually the simulator. So if
Okay.
anyone knows golf, they know the name Tiger Woods. So Tiger Woods is very heavily involved in Full Swing. He's actually part owner.
Uh, right. Okay.
And they've got a pretty cool story. So they went into Tiger Woods and met with him and they brought in their first iteration of, hey, we want Tiger to be a part of this. And they said Tiger booted him within 5 minutes. Said, get out of my house. This isn't worth it. Come back when you're ready to go. So they spent the next 2 years trying to get that dialed in. And then they came back to Tiger and Tiger's like, all right, I'm all in. So he bought in. So he's very heavily involved in the Full Swing software. So that's what gives you all the data, the courses and all that kind of stuff. Our
Right.
software is proprietary to the Back Nine. And we built that to help manage the back end system. So you're billing your, memberships, people booking their tee times, getting the access codes, all that kind of stuff to get into the facility.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Okay. And how would you compare this concept to other indoor or even not just golf, but others, other than it seems like clearly the ability to not have employees there, which is
Yeah.
huge. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So some of our biggest competitors right now, I guess, is a food and beverage kind of layout, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Where, hey, we have golf simulators, we also have food and beverage. So it's more towards the entertainment side of kind of golf, kind of like the Top Golf, right? Everyone's been to a
Yeah.
Top Golf. And that's kind of how we compare those. They're kind of more entertainment. They need the food and the beverage to pay for their employees.
Okay.
And that's kind of where we separate ourselves. Is we like, hey, we want to stay as far away from employees, gyms, all that kind of stuff that require
Right.
people to be there. And this allows our franchisees to say, hey, we don't need someone here. The facility can run itself. I can go out, I can talk to local businesses, I can sign up memberships, and then I can create more of a community and hold events versus being there running the day-to-day operations.
So you talked about that. You talked about the owners. They're not tied up there, so they are out there creating that awareness. So typically, what does that life look
Yeah.
like in terms of an owner?
Yeah, it's a great question. I was very involved in the beginning stages of bringing franchisees on, right? I started with 18 locations. When we had 18 locations sold when I started. We're currently at 324 locations sold across the US. Yeah, it's been pretty crazy, and
Yeah.
I'll hit 2 years next month in October, so it hasn't been a long time of us working
Yeah.
on this going, but there's a lot of excitement. I think a lot has to do with what we have, but, you know, what does it look like for our franchisee? When we first started, it was like, "Hey, you only have this is, do what you want. This is kind of a great thing. It's a great business. You get to have fun in golf." Things have changed just a little bit, to be honest with you, of like, all right, there's some people making some dang good money doing
Hmm.
this, what they're doing. So we always tell people like we got all different types of franchisees. We have some that are doing this full time and they own multiple stores. We have some that have a full time job and they're doing this as a side hustle.
Hmm.
And we got some that in life there's the top 20, the middle 60, and the bottom 20, right? And everything you do in life. So we experience that. So we have those top performers, we have the middle performers, we have bottom performers, and they're all doing something a little bit different. But one thing that we're always encouraging, and when I finally get to meet with people, is I ask them, "What's your background in sales, marketing?" Right? It's great that you know how to crunch numbers or whatever, but are you comfortable going into a local business and trying to ask for their business? And that's kind of where we're seeing some separation in certain people. Of we're going to get the community involved. We're going to go talk to local businesses. They're going to sponsor our bays. So instead of being bay one, bay two, bay three, they've got a business that's labeled bay one, right? Instead of bay one. We got people doing kind of all different sorts of things. We actually had a local golf tournament here in St. George on Friday. Our
Hmm.
local were out there and they were sponsoring a long drive hole, right? Just to get that community engagement, get people familiar who at the back nine is. And with the amount of stores that we're adding on a monthly basis and locations, the back nine is going to be a household name in the golf world, which is
Yeah.
pretty fun.
That's so cool. How does it work with golf courses, outdoor play? What's the relationship? Is there networking there to be done?
Yeah, it is. There is. So I think a lot of people see this and they're like, well, we're competing against golf courses. And Laura, to be honest with you, like nothing will take away from hitting a ball off the middle of a fairway when you hit a ball 300 yards or 200 yards, whatever it may be, and you take a nice pure divot out of the fairway. Like nothing's going to beat that. But
Yeah.
there's also times where I can't go out and play all the time. So my time
Right.
to go to the back nine, if I can't go out and play golf, is usually at 5:30 in the morning, and I'm there by myself and I'm working on my game, right? So
Yep.
I don't think we're not trying to replace the outdoor experience. We're trying to enhance the outdoor experience of come here, play, get better. So when you go out on the course, you're hitting the ball better. We truly believe that as you work on your game, especially a lot of people are like, well, you're hitting off mats. And hitting off a golf mat actually makes you hit the ball better because you have to impact the ball first to make the ball go. It makes your ball striking actually better as you're working on your game. So there's different things that, definitely help with this. So we see golf courses as huge opportunity. I know a lot of our franchisees are going out and saying, hey, you guys have dead time during the winters. We're open. So let's do some kind of play, like cross plays together, and let's work together to say, all right, we have a rainy day in the middle of summer and we're open and you're trying to push people over. Like, let's figure out what that looks like. I know one of our franchisees holds a tournament at their location for the back nine, right? So there's a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
interplay between the two facilities. So definitely not hitting up against each other and saying we're trying to steal your business. It's like let's work together, and people love golf. That's how it is right now.
That's for sure. What are some of the more creative ways you've seen owners get out there and get customers?
Yeah, I love it. So lessons are a huge thing. people teaching lessons out of the facility, right? So a lot of times you'll see owners hire a golf professional,
Hmm.
and they incentivize that golf professional to sell memberships because they're bringing them into the facility. They're there saying, "Oh, hey, why don't you come work on your game in between lessons and you can use the back nine?" And we incentivize the golf pro to be able to sign up people and make a little bit of extra cash based off of membership getting signed up or because of them. Kids camps are a huge
Got it.
thing that we've just experienced this summer with we held I think it was 8 kids camps here in this summer and we had 8 kids per camp and we were booked out for 8 weeks straight in kids camps. I mean that was
Wow.
another we had our golf professional do. He taught those lessons and then we let him have the opportunity to sell a membership to the parents or the kids that were coming in and that were part of that kid camp. And then another big thing that we've seen is be successful is local schools, whether that's colleges that might not have access, maybe smaller colleges that don't have access to a
Right.
simulator, whatever that is, high schools. And we have a really cool story in Cedar City, Utah. Was it 3 years ago now that we've had the biggest snow in record for a long time in Utah? Their girls' high school team never played outside until the first tournament of the season, and they only played on a back nine simulator in a facility, and they came out and won the very first tournament, and then never played outside until they played in that tournament. So,
That is amazing.
yeah, so we got some pretty cool stuff of high schools using it and all that kinda
Yeah.
stuff to make some cool experiences and kind of outside of the box and normal thinking.
Yeah, right. In terms of that technology or those courses, I mean, I guess that's an evolving. Do the simulators get? Do they have to get completely overhauled? Is that the future, or what? Or how does that update process
Yeah, it's a
happen?
great question. Luckily, some of it is software. When you
Okay.
look at kind of our simulators, just in general, there's 4 sensors in front of the bay. There's a camera and a sensor above your head, and then there's a computer. Right, so there's not a ton of overhaul when it comes to the actual
Okay.
capital equipment. Uh, and most of the updates that come out are going to be related to software. So it's just updating the software, adding a course or adding a function, which makes it pretty cool from our standpoint of saying, all right, we don't have to require people to change their simulators because they're expensive, right? Like that's the most expensive part of our build out is the simulator part.
Hmm.
But it's top tier equipment, right? We always get people who come in and say, "Hey, we can get these simulators for 20 grand instead of 45." I'm like, "Well, you're not getting a top tier brand, right?"
Hmm.
And customers know that. They recognize good equipment versus bad equipment. And that's a commitment that we've made inside of our company is we'll never sacrifice the quality of our equipment because of cost, because we feel like the customer experience is what's going to keep people coming back. And if they think that the equipment doesn't work right or it's not accurate, that's what's going to make people go elsewhere. We're actually headed to Full Swing this week, and they're going to kind of roll out kind of their next projections of what their software updates are and all that kind of stuff, and courses that
Oh,
are. So it's pretty fun to kind of see little changes that they make a big impact, and it's not the hardware, it's the software. So
okay. Fantastic. When you talk about the bays, how do franchisees decide how many to go with, or what's your typical, I guess,
yeah,
layout?
great question. So we usually require 3. If there's a small little town and it's, 35, 40,000 people and they can get
Okay.
amazing rent, then we'll approve a 2, but that's on an approval basis. But most of the time we want 3 because that's what makes sense, at least for, your revenue and all that kind of stuff. And then, we have locations that I think go up to 6, right? We have 6
Okay.
bays. So we kinda leave it up to the franchisee on what they wanna say. I always tell people if rent is decently priced, start with a 3 bay, make sure you get comfortable, save 50 grand off the beginning, and then when
Okay.
you need the 4th bay, then you can come in and install the 4th bay. Get all the prep work and all that stuff done before you build out
Right.
and then install, for 50 grand, you can put in another simulator, 45 grand, you can put in another simulator in your facility.
So you got this. You got this set up. You get to. I guess you guys help them find locations and go through that, or
Yeah, we use a company called Morrow Hill. They're amazing.
okay.
Great real estate company. They have relationships all over the country. And yeah, they know the specifications we're looking for. They know the kind of places we're looking for, where we want to be, our general areas, and that kind of stuff. They have some really cool technology that they can pull. They use a company called Placer AI, and that can show you how long people spend in a store. And after that store, where are they going next, right? So it's kind of crazy. They say we never track phones, but that's what they use to get all this data from.
Gee,
I know.
wow.
So it's pretty exciting to see that they have and they've invested that. And as they walk through with our franchisees, these places and locations, they're able to kind of say, all right, we feel good about this because of, this data and this information. But that team is really good at what they do.
Oh, fantastic. Is there an average time that it takes? Does it vary a lot?
Yeah, so it varies. Our average time to get a location, and this has been improving. We have some that really made the numbers go really high. Like I think
Mhm.
we had a group that almost took 2 years to get their location open.
Hmm.
They had some unfortunate things happen. Real estate fell through, construction fell through, contractor never showed up on the first day type thing.
Yeah.
But our average right now is about 6.8 months to get a location open.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, with a brick and mortar, it's great. So we feel good about
Yeah.
that. It's continuing to drop with our processes and things that we're doing as we keep, updating and upgrading what we're doing on a day-to-day basis.
And the spaces they typically look for?
Yeah, Class B retail space.
Yeah.
And those kind of vary just depending on size of the space, right? So we generally recommend about 700 to 800 square feet per bay.
Okay.
That's sitting area, bathrooms, all that kind of stuff is included in that. So normally around 2,000 to 3,200 square feet for a 3 bay facility. And, we like when restaurants are by, we like when other things are by to help drive that organic growth of people seeing
Okay.
it and saying, hey, what's back nine?
Yeah.
Actually, at the Ryder Cup, my cousin went out to the Ryder Cup this week, and he's like, "Dude, you won't believe this." He goes, "Your back nine in Bethpage in New York is
Yeah.
on the route to the Ryder Cup that everyone has to take." Yeah,
That's
so
fantastic.
yeah, he goes, "So it's super
Gosh, I
awesome
hope
to
that
see." Yeah, so
yeah,
everyone that was there had to drive past that location and see it. So it was pretty cool to see that.
that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, so somebody gets open, they've got their base. So how does that customer sign up go? I mean, what's that process like?
Yeah, great question. So through our software, usually, right? And they're going to market, they're going to do their advertising and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
They can log on. We usually have kind of a founder's pricing that they'll have a guaranteed lock pricing for life if they sign up within a certain time frame
Right.
and stay a member. And they go through the process, just get online, sign up, and then when the doors open, they'll get access. Right? Usually, it's a small little down payment of like $10 to $5, whatever they decide to do to kind of hold their spot in line, and then they're off and running when the doors are open. And then the other side of it is, the corporate memberships or small business memberships that I always they
Mhm.
call corporate memberships. I'm like, we're not really going to like
Yeah.
Facebook or Walmart and trying to sell. So I always call it small business memberships.
Yeah.
But that's going to be a more physical thing, right? Walking in, hey, who's your marketing manager? What's your ideas? What's your thoughts on back nine and putting some advertising in our space, naming a bay. So there's a lot of that goes on, and then getting the community involved. We always, making sure it's a huge event, ribbon cutting, Chamber of Commerce showing up and being a part of that in your local cities and municipalities. So definitely a good opportunity.
And so somebody signs up and they start a membership. Is there training though for that new customer? So do you need,
Yeah,
employees
great.
at that time, or
Yeah, that's a
how do
good
they learn
thought.
how to use
So
the software?
a couple things. It's super easy. Like you
Yeah.
push play now. If it's
Okay.
not on, you got to turn the projector on. You push play now, and then it comes four different tiles. So you can
Yeah.
work on your game. You can play courses. You can work on short game, or you can play games. Right. So you
Okay.
can go darts or whatever you want to do in there but there we usually try to train like, hey, first customers or people that are coming in for an hourly tea time, you should go in, you should show them how it works. You should try to upsell them on whatever they're doing, whether it's, hey, we're doing a demo or we're here for public tea time, or hey, they're a member. It's great to know who they are,
Yeah.
and kind of build that relationship. But if you can't make it, there's a QR code, you scan it, it teaches you how to
Okay.
do it. But again, there's four tiles. It's pretty hard to mess that up if you figure out how to play.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then so in terms of we talked about site selection, I'm just thinking about support, build out. What kind of other training? What other type of support are you doing ongoing for
Yeah.
the franchisee?
Yeah, I love it. That's a great question. So I always have a hard time. Like I came from a background of medical sales, and when you sold someone something, you kept them the whole time. You serviced them, you upsold them, all that kind of stuff. And I went to a different world of like I don't know anything about onboarding. I really don't, right? Like I know some of the things they do, but I can't help. Once you're done with the sales team, they're pushing you off to our team that's trained, that's ready to go. So the first step is real estate, right? So you get hooked up with one of our project managers in the real estate side of it, and they're going to make sure they're working with Morrow Hill and you to get things done. And then the other side of it is once they have the real estate, we get passed on to an onboarding success manager, and
Okay.
that onboarding success manager is going to take you through the build out. They're going to take you through setting up websites. How do you plan your marketing? What are you doing for that? Open
Mhm.
house. And then what we've actually done is said, you know what? When we get people open, the last thing we want to do is say, hey, that was a great job, give them a thumbs up, and then kick them out. So we said, all right, our customer success managers, they're actually going to stick with these people for an entire year after they open their doors. That way, if they have questions, concerns, they can come back to the same person. They can work through those issues or trials that they may be having and be able to have a familiar face with the back nines. They're usually with them for about 16 months from when our customer success managers take over.
What advice would you give someone that's considering the back nine? Like,
Yeah.
just to consider, or what are you, I guess, what twofold. What advice would you give? And also, what are you looking for in terms of an owner?
Yeah. So what we love right now with the back nine is there's high demand, right? Which allows us to be picky.
Yeah.
And some people aren't a fan when they get turned down and say, hey, we don't feel like you're a right fit for the back nine. We've done that a couple times. It's not great. It doesn't feel great on our side, but we
Yeah.
also trying to protect what we're doing because it is a 10-year marriage, right? We're linked up with these people for a long time. And we're not selling franchises, we're rewarding franchises. So as much as we want to just say, hey, we want everyone to have one, we really don't. We want those that we feel like are qualified.
Hmm.
What are we looking for in a franchisee? One, we want to make sure they're business sound, right? Like they understand
Okay.
business, they have the ability to have a conversation. I had an old boss. Look, I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, a Mormon boy. So I always say this. My boss called it a beer test. I call it the Diet Coke test. But most of the time, it's like if I can't sit down and have a Diet Coke or a beer with someone, probably not someone who I want to hire, right? Like that's what
Right.
my boss always said is like my interview is, can I have a conversation with you? Can we have a good talk? Are you smart to kind of keep those conversations going and have the business acumen to keep things moving? As we go through, we look at that, right? Like we look at, hey, what are these people's capabilities to go out and talk to local people and build their business? Because just because, like I said in the beginning, just because you know how to run a spreadsheet or whatever doesn't mean you're
Right.
going to be able to grow a business, right? And that's what we really need because of the software that we built. Because everything gets put into the software and it does a lot for you. So it's, we're looking for people that have energy. One, we don't always need them to like golf, but having passion for golf, right, is a huge
Hmm.
thing. We actually have a lady that we brought on, and she told me, she goes, and I asked her, I'm like, do you like golf? And she's like, I hate golf. But she goes, let me tell you, she goes, let me explain myself. She said, I'm pretty sure I got divorced because of golf, just so you know. But she's like, guys like you spend stupid amount of money on it, and I know this is a business that I can make money on. So I was like, all right, you're all in. I love this. So
Yeah. Yeah.
the golf thing isn't a must, but it does definitely help. Especially my always thought on that is when things get hard or you're having a trial, if you're not passionate about the business that you have, it's pretty hard to run a business that way,
Right.
right?
Right.
So we're looking for those who love business, who want to grow something with the back, but also that can go out and have conversations with people and bring memberships and sell. And look, that's all different backgrounds. We have military people, we have engineers, we have doctors, we have lawyers, we have real estate people. So we have all different types of background people in our franchisee model. But I can tell you, all of the people that we are bringing on have the capability to go out and grow their business. And that's our biggest concern.
Yeah. No. And I would imagine that you have to be careful because given that it can be so few employees, you're going to get people that just are looking for an investment
Yeah.
and don't appreciate that they have to put the time in
Yep.
to still run
Yep.
the business. So that I imagine is just you have to be careful, right?
Yep. For sure. For sure.
Anything else that you think would be important to consider?
Yeah, I think, when people consider back nine, I think one of the big things that we try to focus on is, and I'll give you a little background into our CEO founder's life. He's an
Okay.
attorney. He actually represented franchisors or franchisees against franchisors before he started this. So he had no desire to get in this space because he's like, look, franchisors are mean. They don't care about their people, right? Like, and he kind of
Interesting.
fought the other side of it. And he was like, I don't want want my name tied to that. I don't want people to think that I don't care about him. And some of his business partners at the time finally convinced him to like, hey, let's just try. Right. We actually, right before we got on a call, I was in a leadership meeting with our leadership team. And this is brought up every time. How do we make our franchisees happy? Now, you're never always going to make everyone happy, right? Like
Right.
we know that. And people are always going to complain and that's fine. But how do we make the majority of our people happy and how do we build a culture that's going to realize that, we're on their side. We're doing everything that we can from the back nine side to provide information that you need, marketing tools that you need, all that kind of stuff. Like that's where that's coming from us is we're truly trying to make this a one-stop shop, right? We want our customers, our franchisees to be happy with the products that we're putting out. And we feel a lot of that comes from culture and what we do from the top down.
Hmm.
Something that we stress all the time to our employees at the back nine is, we need to pay attention. We need to hear what these people are saying. We need to solve problems quickly and get back because we want, the investment that we put into our franchisees is only going to help our business grow on the back end, right? So anything that we
Yeah.
can do from my side is we care about our franchisees. We love our franchisees and this business isn't possible without them. So, we truly want to make sure that we're providing something that they're proud to say they're a part of and something that we're proud to say, hey, these are our franchisees. We brought them in and they're going to go out and kill it.
That's fantastic. What's the favorite course on, or is there a favorite one?
Yeah, I think for me, um, it's pretty hard to nail down one. It's fun to play courses that you've played. Pebble
Yeah.
Beach is always a favorite of everyone. Everyone wants to play Pebble Beach. I actually had the experience to play Pebble Beach, so it's kind of fun to be like, okay, this is where I really was at when I played it, right? So that's kind of fun. There's so many courses. I try not to always play the same one, but I think the majority of people, it's St. Andrews, it's Pebble Beach. Those are kind of those big hot items that most people are playing when they play it for the first time.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Best golf shot you've ever seen.
Best golf shot I've ever seen. I would say I saw a
Or
hole in one in person, which was awesome. That's got to be the best golf shot that I've ever seen. It was at a PGA event in Ohio when I worked in my
oh,
previous company, and our company got the whole box like rented out, and this guy just dunked it, and every sales guy around me was so drunk, and it was fun to see kind of their reaction. So it was kind of cool to see it just went straight in the hole. It was really cool.
wow. I've only been actively playing for about 3 years. I still have not had one, but I played years ago.
Yeah. I haven't
Someday.
either. I haven't either. I've been playing a long time. Yeah, I've been like
It's so
half a
weird.
rotation away. It's hard. It's a hard
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I've really appreciated this, Darren. Thanks again, and
Yeah, thank
look
you,
forward
Laura.
to catching up again later.
Yep, thank you so much. Appreciate it.